education. Hi, my name is Diana Bang, and I'm an instructional designer with the City of Saskatoon.
Hello, I'm Leticia Velasquez, and I'm an instructional designer with Southern Illinois University, Carbondale.
As we know, course design standards shape the learning experience in profound ways, influencing engagement, accessibility, and overall learner success. In order to better understand how institutions are defining and pursuing quality, we conducted an environmental scan of course design standards across North American higher education institutions. We did a high-level analysis, which touches on some notable gaps and provides an opportunity to strengthen alignment with Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, principles as well as accessibility.
Our session today will cover our environmental scan, how we set up our review process, our analysis and key findings, as well as the gaps and opportunities that we identified.
So for our environmental scan, we focused on institutions that had publicly accessible course design standards. And so we narrowed it down to 8 academic institutions across from Canada and the US, which when we further broke it down, it consisted of 5 universities, 2 community colleges, as well as 1 polytechnic.
When we set up our review, we decided to divide the academic institutions, where Diana took the Canadian institutions and I took the US institutions. Then we developed a rubric to ensure consistency. Our rubric contained 4 main areas. Structure and communication looked at how the standards were organized and if the standards were actionable or if they were aspirational. Common quality elements were included: learning outcomes, alignment, learner interaction. For UDL and accessibility, we looked at if and how UDL and accessibility principles were included in the standards. And then for common gaps, we looked at whether or not the standards were too generalized and whether or not UDL and accessibility were required. Our key findings and analysis, we found that 3 of the 8 institutions had UDL principles that were meaningfully embedded throughout their standards. For accessibility, 5 of the 8 institutions had accessibility standards meaningfully embedded throughout their standards. Our key finding was that all of the academic institutions did mention UDL and accessibility. However, there was a lack of actionable steps for instructors to apply that to their course design.
So when conducting our research, we found that many were not accessible just freely online, and they were housed internally. So for a more robust analysis in the future, we could contact, or other researchers could contact academic institutions to access their course design standards for review and research. And lastly, the course design standards that we did find were mostly aimed for online courses instead of the in-class. However, there were some that comprised of online as well as blended for their course design standards. Okay, so we just want to take the opportunity on behalf of Leticia and I to thank you for attending our D2L Fusion session. And if you have any questions or would like to reach out further about our research, feel free to do so. Our contact information is provided there on the screen, as well as our LinkedIn if you want to stay in touch and stay connected. So thank you so much.
Thank you.